Are you kidding me? Yes! Keisuke did it! He won! Yeah!
The end of that run felt a little screwy to me. What do you say we go for a third one?
No way. That was my loss, fair and square. Plus, my tires are completely shredded. And sorry I slammed into you back there. I couldn't hold the road any longer and she slipped away. No matter what I did to bring her back under control after that drift, it didn't work. Too bad, really. But I can't even remember the last time I was this pumped after a battle. Everything left my head and all I could focus on was the fight with my steering wheel. Nice win, kid. Watch yourself out there, Joshima. These boys are a lot better than we thought they'd be.
Thanks for the tip, big guy. It's a hot night, and it's only gonna get hotter.
The approach taken for this next race was totally different with a different meaning. Toshiya Joshima in his bespoke S2000 AP1 and Takumi Fujiwara in his bespoke Panda Truino A86, two perfectionists at heart, ready for Toge attack. Joshima asked his students to go to the checkpoints of the course to time Takumi's runs. Takumi got a sus feeling from it. What, are they blocking off the course, or is this some dirty trick like of the past? Cause Takumi in Gunma area only knows one pure form of racing. Whoever gets to the finish line first wins. Pure and simple. But this was not anything intrusive. No malicious intent. It was simply data collection, which we will see comes very useful. Come on, you should see it throughout the series. Look at Ryosuke Takahashi. Toshiya did his research and knew a bit about Takumi. So before the race, he had no mind games, no BS to talk. It wouldn't have worked on Takumi anyway, and Joshima wasn't interested. We will see why just now. All Dr. Toshiya Joshima wanted was a little conversation. No provoking needed, just getting to know Takumi. But all of this together, I say, was even more lethal than Kozo Hoshino's mind game on Keisuke Takahashi.
Joshima, nice to meet you, son.
Takumi, it's nice to meet you too, sir.
Mind if I ask you a question?
Shoot.
I was just wondering why at such a young age a kid like you would choose to drive an 8.6. It may not seem like much to you, but it's of great interest to me.
An 8.6 is a special car, not because Initial D fantasized it. There has to be a reason you drive an 8.6. Daiki could not take that 8.6 seriously until he met the driver. Because he was a man like Takumi, he could recognize his own. He felt his aura, and he had to know, why is he driving an 8.6? Is it nostalgia or budget? Is it gimmick? Or is it about purity of skill? An underpowered car like an 8.6 can be a lethal weapon in the right hands. Joshima knows that cause he has his own. So Joshima already knew the answer to his question. But because of his high detailed, precise personality, he had to know for sure. And there was more.
Sorry to disappoint you, but it wasn't my decision to drive the 8.6 in the first place. It used to be my father's.
Your father's, huh?
Yeah. She's been in the family for almost as long as I can remember. And since she was all that we had, she's what I ended up driving.
Oh.
I guess I've gotten kind of attached to her. I was driving this baby way before I even had my license.
How interesting.
Now Takumi's seriously racing with this 8.6 in his team. Confirmed, he's a natural instinctive purist.
Then I guess you must have learned everything you know about driving from your father. I assume he taught you.
Well, I guess you could put it like that.
I certainly wouldn't mind meeting your father one of these days. I have a feeling he and I would get along pretty well.
But just to make sure, you have to provoke a racer by his Medal of Honor.
Of course, that doesn't mean I'll be taking it easy on you.
I hope you don't, sir.
That was it. Joshima knew now. Takumi does not settle for anything less than a pure, real win. But above that, by shaking the medal and unsettling the kid, he saw his aura. All the more data, and it might have just been for a split second, but already there before the race had even started, the sorcerer of the one-handed steering technique, at the sight of Takumi's aura, put both hands on his steering wheel. And then on top of this, Joshima decided to chase.
Ryosuke,
We're ready to roll off the line anytime.
Good to know. I want you to listen to me carefully, Takumi.
Yeah?
I'm gonna be straight with you. The guy you're going up against is far and away the best you've ever faced. Not a chink in his armor. I only have one piece of advice for you before you roll off. Tough it out. You might not think you can win, but stick to your guns and you might actually pull this off. I'll be able to say more later, but for now I want you to concentrate on the road and not your opponent. Remember, you're not racing a man, you're racing a ghost.
Huh?
Don't forget that. Start him up for me, hero.
You got it. Here we go, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2,
A ghost, huh?
1, go!
Chief told me something. Said everything that makes Joshima such a racing legend is his steering technique, which is pretty damn impressive. The unique thing about him is that he leaves his left hand on the shifter and uses only his right hand to steer. I don't know about you, but I've never heard of anybody who can do that.
Yeah, but I don't understand. What's the purpose of it?
We already went through Joshima's technique in a separate video. It is simply perfect weight and tire chemistry control. He uses only one hand to turn the front end, giving him a limited range because the front end is only supposed to have a limited range as the rears are supposed to rotate more. Balancing the center of rotation, how he induces the rear slip angle to rotate the rear end, most of the time just with the throttle. And it is the perfect slip angle, perfectly within the margin between grip and drift, optimally using his tires best. And with the optimal way to drive his S2000, he could still be blisteringly fast at cruising pace. And I don't think anyone in the series of Initial D was closer to his car. That maybe except for one.
He's called the sorcerer of the steering wheel for a good freaking reason.
This guy's incredibly freaking fast.
Just like I figured. This kid's pretty good.
That's it.
All of you seem to think Joshima's one-handed steering technique is a weird thing to do. But it makes a hell of a lot more sense than you might think it does. You just need to know how little you gotta steer in order to turn the car. And after 20 years of solid practice, Joshima's got it just about perfected. He had to put a lot of thought into this. He didn't get to where he is just by winging it. This was all careful planning. He'll swear up and down that what he's doing out there isn't drift or grip, but something else. But if you're asking me, I say what the guy's doing is the ideal drift.
The best high-level techniques are the ones you can do when your opponent's not expecting it. Tires are always at their best when they have the G's pushing down on them, and when they're on the verge of skidding and the pressure is perfect, it makes the car sail like it's on the wind.
Right.
My guess is the guy's letting his tires skid a little, just enough that it's almost imperceptible. It's only a theory, but it's the only way I can wrap my head around it.
All right. I probably couldn't do it myself, but if there's a mix of drift and grip, that'd be it.
It's not a mix of drift and grip, it's simply in between the two. Before the tires cross the limit where they start sliding, they're deforming more and more until they get to the limit. At that limit, they are still deforming. The moment they start to cross that limit, they start slipping a little bit because the tires can't hold the road as strongly anymore. The speed is too high, the inertia is too much. And as much as in some cars, crossing the limit will feel like a switch, especially in the S2000 that is so peaky. The fact is there is a progression, a margin where the further you go, the tires deform less and slip more. Joshima controls the tires in the perfect place within that margin.
The Toto School and Purple Shadow have been rivals for a long time. Not a lot of secrets anymore. We've gone head-to-head with their younger members at circuits, street gatherings, wherever, you name it, and we've been there and raced them hard. But the elite from the Purple Shadow going for broke on the street? We missed the opportunity to see this. We may never get the chance to see it again in our lifetimes. Know what I think Chief was really trying to tell us? Watch those guys like a hawk. Keep your eyes on every single thing that God Arm Joshima and Godfoot Hoshino do.
So Fumihiro, question. You remember a guy called Shingo Shoji who raced for the Night Kids? He was the one with the penchant for gum tape death matches.
Shoji. Yeah, I do. He was the guy who would tape his right hand to the steering wheel. Crazy.
In those races, only a steering wheel with a limited range is allowed. It's part of the challenge. That way, you turn by using your accelerator. It's tough, but I'm willing to bet that Joshima's signature one-handed steering technique probably has its roots in the same theory as gum tape death matches. The two techniques may even be one and the same, only Joshima's version is more complete, more refined.
But I don't get it. I mean, what's the point of it aside from letting your left hand concentrate on the shift work, which really doesn't seem all that important?
If you want the real answer to that question, then I suppose you're gonna have to ask Joshima himself. I'm not saying it's not unusual, it is. And it probably wouldn't benefit most racers. But one of the top drivers in the WRC used to utilize the same technique, and he was the best in his class.
Something about this race feels so familiar. I know this kind of pressure. The kind that sticks to every turn I make. It's like my dad's back there in the Impreza breathing down my neck.
Joshima was able to stay on Takumi, consistently putting pressure on him, staying one step ahead because he mastered rotation, racing lines and tire management to the point where he can be blisteringly fast while doing less, conserving his tires and even taking different track apex points on his racing line.
Like, can I tell you who's gonna win it?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be easy. It isn't like this thing is gonna wrap up in just a run or two.
You don't think?
It's not a long course, but all the hooks and corners make it tough, and there aren't many straight shots to catch a good rhythm. This is gonna turn into a long battle whether they want it to or not. But if it was over fast, and don't get me wrong, Kenta, I'm putting a truckload of stress on the word if here, then Takumi would probably lose. Don't get hysterical. All I'm saying is that Takumi's best bet at a win is dragging this out as long as he can. I just hope he realizes that. The other guy's gonna be leading on the next run. That's the one that'll be key to the win, so if Fujiwara can just keep his act together for a little while longer, he'll give himself the long race he needs to snag the victory. When you've been in as many battles as I have, you start to develop a sixth sense for these kinds of things. No matter how vicious this battle looks to the rest of us, all those two are doing out there is trading a couple light jabs.
Holy damn! This is freaking incredible! I never thought I'd see Joshima racing against Project D's 8.6.
You ever seen something slide that fast around a curve before? Man, seeing these two mammoths try to knock each other down is killer.
First run's almost over. Damn it, that pressure. It's been breaking me down this whole time and I can't shake it.
Perfect. I got to watch your every move on this first run.
They're here! Dude, check it out! They're practically on top of each other!
On my count! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
I guess that must be the start of the second run.
Sounds like it.
This second round's gonna be the most important one. But isn't Takumi gonna be chasing? Maybe that's a good thing. He's better than anyone when he's behind. He gets so persistent when he thinks he's gonna lose. That guy's never let anybody he's chasing get away from him. I can't believe there are actually people who don't think Takumi's gonna be able to keep up. Whatever, man. Or is this guy who's racing actually that good?
Well, yes, Kenzo was right about Takumi when he's chasing. But for this race, as we're going to see a little later, that is going to be turned on its back.
The S2000 is a crazy hard vehicle to master, but its specs are all high-end. I mean freaking perfect. And I remember the chief telling me one time that when it corners, it's even faster than the NSX. So if you put a seasoned driver like Joshima behind the wheel of that bad boy, there's no reason on planet Earth it should ever lose to an 8.6.
Do you really think so?
The truth about this is how the S2000 AP1 was tuned. She was tuned to be able to give out her full potential regardless of driver skill level. The NSX was a naturally better balanced car with the engine and gearbox within the wheelbase in the mid-rear position, but it is softer to be safer and more comfortable. The S2000 is not. The NSX-R got a little better tuned, but there's still no stock Honda that is as peaky as the S2000 AP1, having a microscopic margin for error. Takumi's A86, Max Verstappen's Red Bull, and Ayrton Senna's McLaren, though with different philosophies, are one in the same in that they are tuned to such a blisteringly high level, making them so peaky. The window of control at the limit is nearly unfindable for the average driver. In the end, it is a lethal machine not made for the general racing enthusiast.
But still, what's normal in this situation isn't exactly what's normal in any conventional sense. No. With two crazy drivers like these, who knows what to expect?
Yeah, especially the driver of the 8.6. He's a weird one. He's got this raw, natural talent, but only those who drive against him can feel it. More than anything, Fujiwara fits that 8.6 like a glove, always has. It's like he was born to drive it, or it was built for him, but either way, they're perfection.
Might be an NA. The F20 type engine cranks out 120 pounds of horsepower per liter. It's got the VTEC unit, which puts even the latest models to shame and makes the 8.6 look like a waste of metal. That's easily the biggest threat to Fujiwara. But the true value of the S2000 lies in its unique handling ability. You see, the engine that's mounted in the front mid position realizes the ideal 50-50 weight distribution. The car also has an X-bone frame with high body integrity. After a few minutes behind the wheel, you'll forget you're driving a roadster. Plus, she sits on top of a lightweight and compact in-wheel double wishbone suspension system. Her potential was installed using orthodox methods and not with electronic gadgets. They didn't use any of the modern technological methods used so often in auto construction today. This is a classic piece of machinery. All the turbos and four-wheel drives in the world mean nothing to her. Out on that course, she owns everything. But one thing most everyone agrees on is that in the end, the car selects its driver.
What you're saying is that it takes an enormous amount of skill to even come close to mastering a vehicle like that.
Knowing that car's limits would be a godsend. Only a select handful of the most skilled and talented drivers in the world will ever have the privilege of understanding that vehicle.
And Joshima Arm Toshiya is without a doubt one of those drivers. Fujiwara is out there burning track with an absolute beast of an opponent.
This second run's really turning into something intriguing. I know Joshima pretty well, and I got a good idea what kind of scheme he's cooked up for this kid.
So you're saying it's a scheme. But if Joshima's in front, all he has to do is outrun the guy. Why doesn't he just stick to doing that and end it now?
You don't get it. Trust me, the guy's a lot more screwed up than you realize. He's usually all calm and collected, but put him up against an opponent with a little skill and he slips into some bad habits.
Huh.
If he just wanted to say screw it all and go for broke on his home course, he could easily outdistance any opponent in no time. He knows every inch of this course like the back of his hand. There's not a pro who could come up to our turf and beat us.
This is killing me. I don't have anything left to give.
I only say this for the sake of Joshima's reputation, but if the winner isn't decided by the end of the second run of this battle, then I think he might be trying to engineer this whole night so that he wins while chasing. That's kind of the way he is sometimes.
No way. What? I'd have thought a doctor'd know better than to try something as dumb as that. Passing the 8.6 on a course with no straightaways, what the hell? Does he have a death wish?
Maybe, but that's exactly what he's planning on doing. I'm telling you, he's got issues.
I didn't notice this when I was leading earlier, but he's running different lines. I thought I already found the best line to follow, and he's not anywhere close. The timing he uses for sticking to the inside is always earlier or later than I would have used. It's the opposite of everything I've been taught. But is that the right thing to do on this course? If it's not, then how the hell is he getting that kind of speed?
You know, Ryosuke, I keep thinking about what you told Takumi before he started tonight.
I'll be able to say more later, but for now I want you to concentrate on the road and not your opponent. You're not racing a man, you're racing a ghost.
Takumi's greatest weapon might be his ability to absorb the skills of his opponents as he's following them, but what you said to him doesn't make any sense. What did you mean when you called Joshima a ghost?
I don't get any of this. How can he stay on those screwed up lines and still be so fast?
Can you feel the heartbeat?
Joshima knew that by Takumi's unconscious, competent, instinctive way of driving, he also had the ability and the tendency to follow his opponents from behind. Takumi used this before to track his way through togeis he didn't know, and he won! So Joshima had a scheme to destroy this advantage Takumi had. While Takumi is subconsciously following Joshima's lines, Joshima would hypnotize Takumi in a calculated line cocktail to break Takumi's apex revolution, destroying his center of apex, hence destroying his center of rotation. Takumi wrongly trusting Joshima's line, but trusting his own technique and his 8.6 that doesn't match it. Hence, this would make him go offline in mid-corner, making him overcompensate trying to get back online, not being able to find his rhythm on the course. This overheated his tires, and it also overheated his brain. This led to Takumi questioning everything as he was being dragged along all over the course, not being able to do anything about it. This was a brain worm Dr. Toshiya Joshima induced in Takumi. In the end, Takumi's biggest strength was turned into his biggest weakness, earning the rightful title of being called his enemy. Ayrton Senna also did the same thing to Alain Prost. Most memorable moment of them all was in the braking zone of Hockenheimring.
This has been a pain in the ass. I'm getting dragged all over the course out there. It sucks.
Yosuke warned you this guy was going to be a monster on the asphalt.
He was right. Oh yeah, and I wanted to ask you. Do you think I could check out the time data on the race so far? I'm thinking there's got to be a big disparity between the times for the runs. It looks to me like the S2000 is changing its style every time. I mean, he's all over the place.
That's not what I'm seeing. According to this readout, you're the one who's out of sync tonight.
Huh?
Here, see for yourself. Take a look at this chart on the 2nd, 4th, and 6th runs where the other guy was leading you. It's almost creepy how close together all of his times are. His ability to maintain his time is so accurate that it borders on mechanical.
No way that's possible. How is he pulling off such perfect times?
You think you're dragging this race out a little bit? I know you're having a good time and all, but come on.
This brainworm was eating Takumi alive until he had shredded every last bit of rubber off his tires. And that's when Dr. Toshiya Joshima decided to use a bit more of his tires that he had been keeping at a cool temperature for the whole race. On the 7th run, when he would be chasing, Dr. Joshima picked up the pace to another degree.
I'll end this business in the next run or two.
All right. We'll be waiting at the bottom of the mountain to celebrate your victory.
Gotcha.
Don't let Joshima into your head. He'll only try to confuse you, throw off your line, so be careful. The fact that your times have been so inconsistent when you're leading him, all that says is that you've been falling under his control, right where he wants you to be so he can clinch the win. Don't allow yourself to be fooled by what you see him doing on the road. Trust your instincts. There's going to be a huge flip in this race on the 7th run. There's no need to match his pace, just relax and do your own thing. Your best shot is to take the counteroffensive. You should have already noticed that you can use the gutters and hedges on this course. You need to take advantage of that when you can. Pay attention to those things. I don't think I have to remind you everything Project D has riding on this.
You scared the hell out of Takumi. I don't think he'd ever even consider the possibility of running the exact same time using completely different lines. And to be perfectly honest, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it myself. In all my years doing this stuff, I've never heard of anyone making that happen.
The lines may change, but they're not what's important. Consistency helps, but running the course the same way each time is unnecessary. Remember, our opponent has years of experience on us.
A win is still possible, however unlikely.
Absolutely. But I'm also certain that Joshima does have a favorite line, and that we haven't seen it yet.
Huh? Then that would mean...
He's holding back. Almost toying with him. I only hope that Fujiwara has realized it by now. He didn't get the nickname God Arm for nothing. I'm assuming that he has the ability to drive equally fast on different lines, which explains how he's been able to keep his time so consistent. That being said, he should still have specific lines that he uses when he's gunning for his best time. But even after all these runs, he hasn't tipped his hand to us quite yet. He's waiting for the right opportunity.
So that's why Ryosuke told Takumi to ignore his opponent and concentrate only on the course. That's what he must have meant when he called him a ghost. You're saying Takumi's ability to absorb the strengths of the people he chases is hurting him the longer he's behind this guy. The closer he watches, the less he knows what to do. He sees all the dummy lines Joshima is throwing at him. It's getting inside his head and confusing him.
You got it. But the 7th run's gonna change things up. I have a feeling the good doctor plans on winning this thing by overtaking the leader at a weak point.
You might be right. I hope not.
You can't be serious. I had to push myself and the H6 to our limits. And he hasn't even been going all out this whole race? Damn it! My tires are practically worn bald. I hate to say it, but this time around, I don't feel like I can win. Feels like I'm the puppet and this guy's got control of my strings. Man, what the hell is it with me and old geezers and fast cars? It seems like no matter what move I try and make, he's always one step ahead of me. I've got no idea what to do. I'm freaking lost tonight.
I was checking the times up to this point, and it looks to me like everything's been at Joshima's pacing. I don't think Project D expected to get worn down nearly as far as they have.
I haven't checked it, but I think the tires on the 8.6 are running out of rubber. One-handed steering doesn't wear him down like the two-handed technique. And I just had another thought.
Huh?
Anyone who's chasing Joshima with everything they've got is gonna have a hell of a hard time finding their rhythm. The more experience they got, the more sure they are of their abilities, the more confused they'll get behind him. At first, it doesn't look like Joshima cares about picking the right lines. But everything he does is calculated. It's all perfectly controlled. He does what he does to confuse his opponent's rhythms. After he gets in their heads, he's more in control of what they do than they are. I've never seen anything like it before. There's a part of me that actually feels sorry for that kid in the 8.6. He's got 3 whole runs of watching Joshima's driving under his belt. He must be sweating like a whore in church. It's gonna end like Joshima said. We got 1 or 2 more runs left.
There's a multiple S-curve in the first half of this course. At 10 turns strong, it doesn't make for an easy ride. Quite the opposite. If there's going to be any kind of switch up anywhere in this battle, it'll be there. And unless I'm way off, Joshima will make the move.
Hoshino might have poked at me about it, but there's a damn good reason I've dragged this race out as long as I have. Watching that 8.6 from behind, the reason is as clear as the moon on a cloudless night. I can finally take advantage of his worn-out tires.
As Takumi was riding on his rims trying to get his thoughts together, Dr. Toshiya Joshima was getting started with part 2 of his scheme.
I'm going to win this thing with my brain. How an adult does it. It's on either the 8th or 9th turn of the multiple S-curve. There's a point where the rhythm changes. It's subtle, but it's there. And on the curve right before that... there! Don't be down on yourself, kid. You're not a bad driver. Quite the opposite, in fact. I mean, considering the abilities of the 8.6, you've managed to put up a heavyweight fight. You've got skills, that much is obvious, and talent. I hope you keep going. Keep your experiences in your pocket, learn from them, and grow.
Okay, I understand. Thanks. Hey, Ryosuke. They're saying Fujiwara just got passed. I guess that's the end of it. He's done good up to now, but it's over.
The guy made a smooth move and owned it. There's no doubt about that. He was in total control of the race up to that point and held off on passing until he knew he could pull it off without a hitch. You have to hand it to him. His timing was perfect, and it was all due to his one-handed steering technique. Even if we knew all about it before we got here, we never could have avoided this.
All right, you did it! You did it!
The
This freaking sucks, man. What the hell does Fujiwara think he's doing? Keisuke won the hill climb and now he's screwing up the downhill.
He got past. Had to happen sooner or later.
And now there's nothing we can do. There's no way we're gonna win on the downhill. We're totally hosed.
Is that what you think? If there was anyone else behind the wheel of that 8.6, I'd agree. But there's not. That's Fujiwara driving. No way to tell what he's gonna try to pull next.
I guess you're right, but...
Maybe it's just that I don't want you to lose. If anybody deserves to show you up in a battle, damn it, it's gotta be me.
Joshima's technique is so perfected that it becomes harmful to a driver like Fujiwara, who operates mostly on instinct. Their types don't mesh well together. Before he knows what's going on, he's synced up, and he's pulled along for the ride. I knew from the get-go that this would happen. There was never a doubt in my mind. But now that the stalemate is broken, practically anything can happen.
I don't get it. What do you mean, it's broken?
Fujiwara is freed from being controlled. He can regain his own pace and finish out the battle in his own way. It may look grim at the moment, but they haven't beaten us yet.
Time to leave this kid in the dust. No point in saving my tires anymore. I'll use the rest of my grip and leave you wondering where I went.
The 8.6 was behind Joshima.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. How'd he even do that?
Keep in mind, the 8.6 isn't the only car wearing down its tires tonight. That S2000 is a little heavier. That'll do its own damage.
You got a point there.
It doesn't matter how skilled you are at managing your tires, there's a physical limit. It's true you can only do so much for so long. That time is going to come for our opponent as well. It's not like his tires are exempt. And under those conditions, the 8.6 actually has many more advantages. We know that Joshima's one-handed style of steering is his big thing. That's his golden egg. But the fact he's felt comfortable enough to continue driving with one hand means one thing. That as hard as Takumi's been trying to throw him off his game, he's still squarely in his element.
Okay, but what's your point?
When something jarring happens in a race, most drivers instinctively grab the wheel with both hands. My point is that he's confident that nothing like that would ever happen to him while he's in this battle.
Cool, I get what you're saying.
When racing, this guy can intuit what's coming next. That's why it always appears that he knows how to predict exactly what's around each corner. He's confident that everything will always go his way. That's what allows him to use his one-handed steering. We have to break that confidence. We can't afford to lose. And now that we know this, we certainly can't afford to do nothing. If we can't create a situation that forces the issue, something that scares him to the point that he grabs the wheel with both hands, then we won't be able to create an opening. We might be able to edge him out, but we'll need to get inside his head. The same way he tried to force his way into Takumi's. We just have to figure out how.
Impossible. There's hardly any distance between us. How is this happening? What are you doing back there, kid?
There's no need to match his pace. Just relax and do your own thing. Your best shot is to take the counteroffensive. You should have already noticed that you can use the gutters and hedges on this course, so you need to take advantage of that when you can. I don't think I have to remind you of everything Project D has writing on this.
Toshiya Joshima was gaining speed and growing the gap at this point. Takumi panics in this moment, and we didn't see it very clearly at all, but Takumi had a short spurt of peak concentration, the Fujiwara zone, and for the moment he managed to keep up. As he got in this big trouble, he broke new ground.
There it is. That's what he's gunning for.
And if you no longer go for a clear,
He's gone. But how? What the hell? What happened back there?
Wait, am I going crazy or did I just see that?
I don't know about you, but I just saw a second set of headlights pop out of freaking nowhere.
Damn it. I lose sight of him for 1 second and suddenly the kid comes at me from the sharpest angle he can even attempt. Now that's a godlike driving technique. I had an idea he was cornering by using the gutters by the hedges, but I decided I must be crazy. It's such an incredibly risky technique. If he missed his timing by even a fraction of a second, he'd lose control and crash into the mountain. And my car's been lowered as far as it can, so I couldn't copy his move if I wanted to. What he's doing is tailor-made for an older car without anything hanging from its undercarriage. Well played.
I don't know how to tell you this, but Joshima just got passed.
You mean Dr. Godhand Toshiya was beaten by some kid?
It's like I was telling you. We got no idea what'll happen in this battle. That's just the way Fujiwara is.
This was no fake it from Toshiya Joshima like when Oshino let Keisuke catch up. The composed doctor was shaken by Fujiwara. And if you didn't notice, Joshima put both hands on the steering wheel, handled the car wrong and upset the balance. Dr. Joshima just got Fujiwara'd. Ha!
Going into an 8th run, I thought this battle would have been over a long time ago. I don't know about you, but my nerves are shot.
After a blind attack and a modified gutter run? I wish I could have seen the look on Godarm's face when he saw what was happening.
Me too, that must have really thrown a monkey wrench into his plans. But we knew Takumi was capable of the modified gutter run, and if we knew it, then so did he. So what was keeping him from pulling that move earlier in the race? Maybe he was just holding back until it all got too tough for him.
No, you're wrong. The truth is, he probably couldn't have pulled it off earlier even if he'd wanted to. He was completely under his opponent's control. Before then, he lacked the fortitude to do anything on his own. He'd lost the grip on his tires. He was at the edge of defeat. It was that moment that allowed him to push himself for the first time. You could say it was like Takumi's escape from paralysis.
Sure, that makes sense.
This is where things get tough. Joshima isn't so slack on the road that he'd let himself be fooled by the same trick twice.
This is turning south. An endurance battle won't go well for us. If that's what this is, we're done for.
Joshima won't lose. He can't lose.
The guy's a perfectionist like you don't know. He tries to use his brain to win, and to do that he sticks to his plan. I'm just hoping that the monkey wrench this kid threw in the works doesn't destroy his concentration.
Takumi Fujiwara, as a driver whose only ambition is to find the perfect course down the mountain, had been brainwormed by alternate courses he can't follow. Now that he had been damaged, slapped in the face enough times, there was one thing left for him to do. It was the only thing he could do. Sit down, watch, and listen attentively. That's what Joshima staged this whole race for.
I have one run left in me. I'll pull out my time attack line.
Deep are we? 7? No, this has got to be 8. Damn it. I am not gonna lose this guy. This is wearing the hell out of me, but it's got to be just as tough on him.
After burning this much road time, the mechanical problems of the 8.6 start to become a real concern. I mean, what with her being an older model car and all.
I wouldn't worry about that. The 8.6 is a rock. A boatload of time and money has been poured into that beauty's maintenance. She could take 20 downhills and she wouldn't miss a beat.
Makes me feel better.
The only thing I'm worried about is the modified gutter run that uses the curve. It's different from the gutters in Akina. All the stress here goes into the suspension. It's not good for him to use it over and over. But Fujiwara is smart. I'm sure he's figured that out.
I don't know. If that's the way he's got to win this race, then he'll do it. It might just be a risk worth taking.
I'm impressed. Smooth ride. She's got power and she's fun. You can really feel the difference in stability with that four-wheel drive anchoring her. No wonder Takumi's been so down lately. I'd be in a slump too if I had to switch between this and the 8.6.
He's been whining about a slump, and he might be right. But all that tells me is he still has a long way to go. The mountain pass at Akina is a good, solid home course. Between it and the 8.6, Takumi should develop a grounded outlook on racing that'll give him the chance to lock down his technique. It's the perfect training ground.
Well, it obviously worked. In less than a year, he managed to master what it takes most guys 5 or more to get down.
Sure did. And now we've finally reached the point on the spectrum where we need to start working seriously on his technique. Nothing specific, but teaching him to think broader and be tougher and find the well-rounded racer I know is inside him. I mean, for starters, you know this. In a battle, there's no such thing as an absolute standard.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you pick the line you're driving, there might be a perfect one on paper, but in reality, you get out there and there could be a dozen possible lines. It depends on 100 different things.
Of course.
Not to oversimplify, but the dogfight's a battle of who can take away the most lines from his opponent. If you can kick out your opponent's line while holding your own, he'll be too busy trying to fix his position to pass you.
That's an excellent point.
A true driver can use whatever line he wants. All I'm doing right now is opening Takumi's mind to adaptability. It's the best way I know to get him started on different techniques. It's taken some time, but you can't deny there have been results. He's not even the same person he was before.
Sounds like he's changing so much it's bordering on scary.
Kind of, but still. The kid has a long way to go.
This is weird. There's something different about this run.
I've never paid much attention to my lines during a race. That's a rookie thing. I focus on using the tire's full potential and trying for the best possible time. When I first started to practice my one-handed steering, I realized that as long as I did everything I could to save my tires, I'd always log the same times, regardless of the line. So whenever I was in a challenging street race, I would always pick whichever line I felt used my tires most efficiently. And there's my record line right there. To me, lines aren't the objective, just the result of an excellent run.
I'm seeing something amazing happen right now.
If you want to be fast on the mountain, you have to be able to haul your ass into a corner with no hesitation at all. How well you know the course matters almost as much as how well you handle the pressure you're feeling. If you're gonna be the faster driver, course knowledge is a basic point, and a big one. That's the reason I've put so much emphasis on practice with our expeditions lately.
Wouldn't that mean that the other drivers we've raced have always had the advantage since we've been racing on their home courses?
Of course. Even more so in a race between technique-driven drivers. In that case, knowing the course can become a weapon, one that's impossible to defend against.
So what do you think happens tonight?
An endurance test. And the person who snaps first is the loser.
He's pulling away from me? I don't get it. How is he doing that? What am I doing wrong?
Oh, watch and learn, boy.
The goal is close. I'm gonna lose.
Almost there. I lose this kid now and it's all mine. Damn it, I can hardly focus on the road. Just a little farther.
I've got to do something. Anything. I'm running out of time.
Takumi got his short peek of the perfect course done by Toshiya Joshima. It was short because Joshima left him in the dust. This is where once again we saw the peak of the Fujiwara zone. The gap was around 5 seconds, but he was bringing it down to 4. But it wasn't enough. At this point, Takumi was just doing whatever the hell would get him closer to Joshima, even if it killed him.
What the hell have I done?
Joshima also knew this was gonna happen. Not that the suspension would break. What Joshima knew is he was gonna outrun Takumi. And this was the final test for Takumi.
The suspension isn't responding. It's gone. I lost.
You know what a perfectionist hates the most? It's not losing. It's a false win is what it is.
I cannot believe that's how you lost.
I'm sorry, man. Look, I'm not making excuses, but maybe it has something to do with this heat wave we've been having.
Gotta keep the conversation rolling because of your students behind you.
But I never would have thought I'd throw up.
Oh. Time to spill the beans, petrol heads. It's time for me to show you what I've been wanting to show you from the beginning of this series. Sir Hoshino and Dr. Joshima, they never lost. Oh, come on, do you still not know what is going on here? Kozo Hoshino's tires were never overheated. He never needed to drift. Toshiya Joshima was for sure overtaken by Takumi, but he never actually needed to vomit. This was the Grand Slam make or break Takumi and Keisuke had to face, and it was after they had already been beaten up and brain-wormed, at the moment buried below rock bottom, below Charles Leclerc. Okay, let's go through it. At the end of Keisuke's battle with Kozo Hoshino, if Keisuke Keisuke didn't drift along, rather tried to use his tires in the most efficient way, control his center of rotation better than that super wide angle Formula Drift, while Hoshino, after running rings around Keisuke, would have grown a 5-second gap before the finish line, drifting on his nicely 7 seconds cooled down tires ready for combat, just like he did before at the Tsukuba circuit with his R32. This was a test of how far Hoshino can break Keisuke and if he was strong enough to come back. Keisuke drifted along. Keisuke brought logical racecraft into the irrational game of drifting. He passed the exam. He drove a fantastic masochist race. And so for graduation, Sir Kozo Hoshino gifted Keisuke with the win. Same for Takumi. After being slaughtered down the mountain 7 times over, brain-wormed and forced to kill his own tires, shown the perfect course right in front of his nose, beaten by over 7 seconds again, he breaks his own suspension. It's the biggest loss Takumi could ever have. But the final test for the perfectionist. Dr. Joshima got out of his S2000 and pretended to vomit. This is the biggest fake win Takumi could ever face, but he drove along. In shock, he was more broken than dictionary can describe. He limped his 8.6 back to the finish line. It was gifted to him. If he didn't drive along and he rather stops there by Joshima's car and saying, "What are you doing?" then Joshima would have rushed back into his car and won the race. This was the greatest exam that Takumi Fujiwara and Keisuke Takahashi were ever gonna get in their lives. They passed it and they were gifted with the wins to continue the Project D, and they did. After this saga, it was just about ticking the last boxes, slaughtering the other drivers around them. I'm not saying they were not challenged ever again, but I am saying that they were never challenged again like this. They had graduated. Do you get it now? Kozo Hoshino and Toshiya Joshima, they were not esteemed that high for nothing. These two masters, advanced in years, advanced in countless infinite wins and glory. They were the GOATs, the greatest drivers of all time the streets have ever seen. They ruled. Beating up some kids would be pointless for them. It's not a real race. How this was all planned out, you see, Ryosuke Takahashi had connections, and he managed to get in touch with Dr. Joshima and Sir Hoshino. And in the highest respect, he said to them, "I have 2 diamonds in the rough. I've taught them all I can, and now they need to reach the next level." And so Ryosuke requested that Dr. Toshiya Joshima and Sir Kozo Hoshino finish what he couldn't. And so Joshima and Hoshino, knowing Keisuke's and Takumi's strengths, weaknesses, and motivations for driving, broke them to the limit, past the limit. Takumi and Keisuke, they weren't any faster than Joshima or Hoshino, but they passed the tests, and thus they were gifted with the wins to continue the Project D. If they lost a single race, the Project D is over. If you haven't already, which I really hope you have, you need to go check out the video of Hoshino's technique, Formula 1 paradox of initial D, and of racing lines. There's quite a lot in this video. You'll only understand if you watch those.
She's all fixed up?
Yep. I got her back last night.
Good. Here you go.
I'll see you later, Dad.
Yeah. I don't care what he says. He loves driving that thing. I can tell.
You're an excellent driver, but skill isn't everything. And it's unbelievably hard to maintain once you decide you're too good to practice. If you don't have your eyes forward, constantly looking at where you're headed, you're never going to reach the next level. And if you ask me, that's a big part of what it takes to become a master. Me, I'm old now. The best I can do is maintain what I have. But you're still young, kid. You can aim higher. And you should. Every day. Even if you can only take away the smallest idea about what I do from riding shotgun with me today, I'll be very happy with that. It'll mean that you and I meeting each other had more than a little significance.
I know you're beating yourself up because you think you lost in terms of technique, but in the end you won the battle, and that's what matters. Take everything you learned with you. It isn't like you need all the answers now. You're still growing, you know, both you and Project D.
What Ryosuke said was right. He's always right.
You need to burn everything you see tonight into your brain and let it scar. You're gonna need it. There are many more difficult battles that lie ahead. And when the time comes along, you'll be ready.
There are still a lot of obstacles I have to overcome. Too many to count. But I will get past them, one at a time, in my 8.6 and with Project D.